So do you do any type of like videos? Do you do anything
Not
like for
really.
social media or anything?
Maybe just posts and some information, but I'm not really into videos or anything like that
Yeah.
just yet. Yeah.
You're like, I'm working there. I'm working up to it. Just photos.
I'm trying to break my walls and just be out there.
How did you get into real estate?
Well, I met people before I was doing this. I was into a lot of industries. So I met people that they had a hard time buying and selling, and they would tell me like family or friends, and I was just like, oh my gosh, maybe I
Give
should
us a
try to
try.
see, yeah, just to see what it was about. So once I got into it, I kind of found my passion that I didn't know I had in real estate. I always like houses and decorations and things like that. But when it comes to laws, and I never gave it a second thought
Yeah.
until I started doing it. I took the classes and I was just like, wow, I really like this.
Yeah.
And I think helping people and being part of get a their house, so their goals, achieving their goals is just the cherry on top.
What did you do before this?
Everything. So I work in a car dealership. I work in
Sales.
administration. Yes,
Okay.
and pretty much
Admin sounds good.
retail too. And since I was young, I was always working, trying to find where I fit in.
Yeah.
I'm not really a type of the 9 to 5 type of person. I always wanted to do something that keeps me busy and different things at the same time. So real estate really falls on that with everything.
As a little kid, like what did you dream? What did you think you were gonna do?
Honestly, I I don't know. I always thought I was gonna be at the house and then my husband was going to work. I really, it was just that I come from Bolivia and my mom was a
From
housewife.
where?
Bolivia?
Okay, Bolivia.
Yes. So I'm from Bolivia. My mom was the housewife and my dad did all the work. And mama never had to do anything. She got a good life. So I wanted to be a mom, and little did I know I start growing, and I was just like, okay, this is kind of not me. And I started trying different works to see where I fit in. It was a little bit of a struggle at the beginning because not knowing really what is your passion and things like that.
Yeah.
So when I found real estate, I kind of like find myself, and I'm actually happy that I did that.
So you're still working in the house, just in a whole bunch of different houses as you're selling them.
There you go. Yes. So I'm
Still
like
achieving the childhood dream,
winner.
just different.
Yes,
Do you have kids?
I do.
How
I
many?
have two. I
Awesome. Are they
have
younger, older, mix?
both. So
Okay,
I have my
very cool.
daughter. She's 13, and I just had a son that he's 11 months now.
Oh my goodness. So you really do have a mix. I love
Yes.
that. Aw.
Yes.
How does that feel starting over after 13 years?
Well, it's I think it's a blessing. My
Yeah.
daughter loves her brother, and she helps a lot, and he loves. He's a boy, so I'm learning how to be a mom boy,
Yeah,
and it's so different with the girl and the boy. So
it is.
yeah,
It's completely different. I know I always say whenever I see like babies now, I'm like, oh, I just want another baby. But then it's like you remember it's not just the cute. Of course, I would go through it all again because it was such an amazing experience. But it's a struggle, especially as a working mom,
yeah,
when you're running your own business, but then also running your household business as well of taking
yeah.
care of the kids. So props to you for,
Thank you. Yeah, I think finding balance. It's what I've been doing the past year because I didn't want to leave real estate, and I also didn't want to put my son in a daycare.
yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
I had to take one for the team. We talked between my boyfriend and I. Were like, okay, and my job allows me to work from home, so I figure it was going to work better rather than um, him staying home.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm sure your kids will appreciate having you raise them
Yeah,
as well, being present for them.
Yes, I think it's very important, especially nowadays. So I do enjoy taking my daughter to school and pick her up. That's something that it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And with my son, it's the same thing, just being able to be there for the first things that he does, or, just food or first steps, which he just did a few
I
days
would not have
ago.
judged you if you would have walked in here and had him on your hip, just as an
Oh,
FYI.
everything over here was
Even
going to
his
fall
toy, yeah.
already. Yeah, he's just a little
I would have just
bullet.
held him on my lap as we talked. Of course, he would have been like, Mama.
Probably.
So where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I see myself running a successful business. I want to run something that it's based on being genuine and honest, and also being a great mom.
Amazing.
Going to sorry,
No, finish your sentence. I'm
no,
sorry.
just going to games and just being involved in both things, because I think they're both important and they both need to be. I need to feed both of them. So
Yeah, don't drop either of those balls.
yeah.
In terms of, you said, just being a business built on genuine and honest, do you find that there are other people who aren't genuine and honest, and that's why it's very important to you? Or did something specifically happen that honesty is super important?
Well, I think I'm really into mental health, and I think when you do things based on good deeds, it's what you get back, and that's exactly what I want. I don't just want to go and make a transaction. I want to make long-lasting relationships, and just following that. And I want to be that good example for other agents also that are just joining the business that they don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just like a Shark Tank out there. So
Why do you say Shark Tank?
because I don't think it's meant for the weak. So you have to be there, always alert, and just it's all about documents, contracts, and you can't miss it. If you miss something, it can cause your clients a big loss. And we're not talking about $5,000. We're talking about $100,000s. So you have to always be on your A game.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's true, but it's just like, I always say, I have to say to some members of my team, because they are very hard on themselves, listen, we're not brain surgeons. If we make, if we don't get something done like right now, it's okay. Like, we've got time to get it done. There's no life or death situation. And while your job isn't necessarily life or death, there are hundreds of thousands of dollars at stake.
Yeah.
Or somebody's future, or so, yeah, that can be a little bit stressful. And so many hopes and dreams too that are like relying on whether or not somebody gets a house or they sell the house, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so unexpected too. Something can come out the next day and you gotta be available. So that's why this year that I took one for the team and stay home with the baby, I really just been taking referrals. I haven't been really out there making ads or things like that, because if I get something, I want to be able to give my whole time to it, and knowing that I already have a little person that's dependent on me. For me, it's very important that my credibility doesn't also get ruined on the way, because I can make it to unemployment, and I don't think I will be a good agent if I'm not honest in that side when it comes to my ability.
That's very self-aware of you. And that's great,
you.
because that's a hard decision to make.
Yeah.
So you're very self-aware and you're very concerned about your reputation and your client's service that you're figuring out, this might have to be on hold for a little bit so that I can focus on this.
Yeah, of course. I think it's worth it. I mean, I might want to make money, and who doesn't? But I think what it's coming on the long run, it's much worth than anything else that I can make right now. So
yeah, that's awesome. What's your wish for your kids?
I want them to be independent, and I don't want them to just rely on us. I want them to learn their own things and to learn financially, what's it called, like financial education.
Yeah.
I think for them to be able to know that, and that's what I want for them. I want them to, hey, have control over your own life, learn from your mistakes. I will always be there, right? But I think it's very important that they also learn it from themselves.
Yeah. Well, it's great because they are going to have parents that will show them and teach them, because I know growing up for me, nobody taught me financial literacy,
Oh my gosh, yeah, me neither.
right? Like we had
I
to
was
figure this out
horrible
on
with
our own.
money.
And
And
even now, I still feel like I'm learning. So,
yeah, that's true.
so that's great that they're going to at least have some role models and
Yeah.
somebody to ask and guide
Yeah,
them.
that's what we talked with my boyfriend about because we both didn't have that with our parents. And at the beginning, it was like, okay, check comes, oops, spending.
Yeah.
By now, we're like more aware, and it's like, okay, what if something happened to us? What is our emergency funds? What is, it's just anything,
Yeah.
and we want to pass that.
Life insurance, that's a big thing. I don't know how you feel about life insurance, but for me, life insurance is so important because it's like
Yeah,
that right there is something that if anything happened, you would want to make, or I would want to make sure at least that like they're covered. And that's not necessarily something you talk about with your parents growing up.
exactly.
You have
Yeah.
to hear something on TV or you have to hear about a situation to be like, oh my God, that could happen to literally anybody. Like, I got to get my stuff together.
Exactly. It was just not a thing before, and
Yeah.
now I'm just glad that we know now.
Exactly. So we can make better decisions for our kids.
Yeah.
So, in terms of wrapping this up, what advice would you give to business owners who are in that struggle, that challenge between being an attentive parent as well as wanting to grow their business? Like, what advice would you give them?
I would say have faith that I believe in God, so that God will take care of things. And I know that it's sometimes easier to say than to believe, especially if you have your bills coming month to month. Um, but if we were going to focus on money, then we're going to let that control us. And it's ultimately it's going to damage your relationship with your kids and all because all that you will think about is money and money and money.
Yeah.
So, and it's difficult. It was difficult for me, but it works out. It works out, and then you learn that okay, maybe keeps will keep on working out. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters, and nothing else matters. Everything, if you look around, everything it's okay, and it will be okay.
I
So
love
I
that.
guess that's it.
I love that. Trust in God and just
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
stress about the money.
right? Yeah, and like I said, it's not an easy thing to do. It took me a lot to actually know the significance of having faith and having passion. So, but it pays off well.
Awesome. I love that. Thanks so much for being on the Alamon podcast
Thank
and
you
for
for
being here
having me.
today.